Right, okay. So we've got Dave, known as Flat Earth Dave, from near New York City. And tonight we're just going to discuss all things regarding the shape of the Earth. So we just had a bit of a chat off camera, waiting for Craig and Azzy to join us. But I know that Dave's a busy man, so we've only been able to schedule an hour. So for those that don't know you, Dave, do you want to just give a bit about yourself and your journey of the shape of the Earth, maybe?
Yeah, my journey is I was awake to a lot of the deceptions in the world. I did a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole about, the thing that happened in New York and the marathon and the Connecticut school. And I was exposing all of these things. And then Flat Earth came up, and I'm like, oh, that's a joke. And then everyone has the same story. We mocked it. Then we were forced to look into it with a closed mind to disprove it. And here you go. I grew up on the East Coast in America, college, worked for a corporation, left the corporation, started my own business. I had it all. I brought it all together. I did what you're supposed to do for the American dream. All is going well. And then this flat earth thing just took over. And I walked away from it all to do this, to talk to people, to help people wake up, because the world is in tyranny right now, in case any of you haven't noticed. And if we get the opportunity, if we push back, we might get the opportunity, a break to try to regain our freedom, but it'll never happen if we're lost in space, spinning out of control, and don't know who we are.
Exactly. I mean, for me, it's a cherry on the cake, isn't it? I mean, you get a bit older. I'm just like early 40s now, and my story with it was I was asked by someone who was high up in the research department at the BBC, and her ex-partner. We actually split up over this, right? Because we were just like, none of them would back down. Do you know what I mean? And they asked me to settle the argument between them. This is maybe 5, 6 years ago, maybe. They said, "Can you settle this argument between us?" I went, "What?" She said, "He's lost the plot. He thinks the Earth's flat." I'm like, first time I even heard of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, mate? But I knew he was a guitar genius. Yeah. He says, "Well, yeah, he looks flat to me. It don't feel like we're moving." I said, "Is that it? Is that all you've got?" And when I had to then go away, down deep in the rabbit hole myself, sort of thing, and go and find out all the answers. And you type it in on YouTube, and the first 40 videos you get, people like pseudo Simon Dan, not really a Professor Dave, Brian Cox. You know what I mean?
Lying box, we call him.
All right, and non-science guy Shill Nye. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
You get all them saying that the flat earthers are idiots, but a lot of people just stop there, don't they?
You know what I mean? It's so. I just did a show with some people that were like, "Wait a minute, flat Earth? Really? We're open," and they were really open-minded. And these people were really into Gaia, the Gaia Earth and astrology. Yeah. And I explained to them, I'm going to change the world, and I literally changed their world. And when they're done, they're like, "Oh my God, it makes so much sense." I mean, all of our common sense tells us the Earth isn't moving. All of our observations, nature. Mm-hmm. Nature tells us the Earth is not moving. We're orbiting and whirling and twirling and shooting through our solar system so fast. I love showing this. This is the hypersonic sled at Mach 8.6. We're orbiting. You see it? Watch it again. We're orbiting around the sun 10 times faster than that. Ready? 10 times faster than that. And we're chasing the sun at 90 to 100 times faster than that. Right? That's not even something you can fathom. Then you go out in nature, and this lake is lying to us.
Yeah, it's flat. It's definitely flat. I mean, people say to me,
and it's motionless too. Motionless and flat.
Yeah. Well, I just say to people, all volumes of unmanipulated water always find a horizontal level. You know what I mean? And I remember Azzy, who's hopefully joining us soon, he was in North Wales, and I said to him, "Look to your left, mate. What can you see?" He said, "Anglesey." I said, "Look to your right. What can you see?" He said, "Liverpool and Blackpool." I said, "Right. So if ships disappear over a curve, then you should see evidence of curvature from left to right, shouldn't you?" He went, "Yeah." I said, is it flat?" He said, "It's flat." You know what I mean? It's flat.
But what about this? This comes with Zoom. Zoom wouldn't lie to me. This is one of those backgrounds that comes with Zoom.
And on the iPhones as well, every iPhone came with the cartoon ball on the screen. Do you know what I mean?
That was the blue marble that Robert Simon
Yeah,
admitted that he made it in Photoshop.
yeah.
And the funny thing is, the globe believers, the people that want to argue, they don't know who Robert Simon is. They don't know
No.
that NASA admits they don't have any photos of Earth. They don't
Uh-huh.
know the size, the circumference, the diameter, the radius. They don't know any of it. They don't know any of the speeds, but they
No.
want to argue with us,
Yeah.
who's done the research, who's looked at the photos. Look at these photos. These aren't photos, right? We've done the research, and they don't want to hear it because
It's the unavoidable conclusion, isn't it? It's the unavoidable conclusion.
it's not a theory. I hate when people say flat Earth theory, right? Because it's
Yeah.
not a theory. The globe is a shitty theory.
I just find it utterly ridiculous now to believe that we're on a spinning ball. It's
It,
like
it's the most ridiculous thing ever. The whole spinning globe is got to be the dumbest thing ever. Matter of fact, I'm offering 100 Bitcoins if somebody can come up with something dumber than the heliocentric model.
Bill Gates is going to try and save the world. Yeah, that's dumber than that, mate.
Well, wait, let me think. If Bill Gates is trying to save the world and people are allowing him to stick things in their arm, hold on, and he's a eugenicist.
Come on, there's a contender there, mate.
That is a contender. That is a contender. But nobody would believe that if they knew the Earth was flat, right? The only reason they believe that is because they're spinning out of control, lost in space. They don't have their feet planted on the ground. And so I'm going to disqualify it. Sorry, you're out.
Oh, what about Bill Gates? He's like putting chemtrails in the sky to help mankind.
Yeah, he didn't come up with that himself. That's been going on for decades.
Oh, it has been going on for decades, but now he admits it in the mainstream media. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they admit everything. They tell us everything.
Oh yeah, of course they do. You know what I mean?
They tell us everything.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, NASA. I mean, how much money do they extort as well? And they fund that into things like HARP, don't they? Because I say to people, I'm like, "Do you acknowledge that HARP is real?" They say, "Yeah." I said, "Well, the Earth's flat then, because we're geoengineering the weather. It's only possible on a geocentric system." Do you know what I mean? And that's the truth of it.
Weather is only possible in a flat Earth.
Well, nothing's possible on a spinning ball. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Are you familiar with Taboo Conspiracy, the channel? Ben from Taboo, he does great stuff. And one of his most famous lines he did at a presentation, I think in Tasmania, at a conference, he said, "The number one way to know that you're not on a spinning ball Earth flying through a space vacuum is because we'd all be dead."
Good point. Good point. You know what I mean? You actually, when I was down in London, I mentioned to you before we hit the record button, I spent a bit of time in the protest pen at Downing Street. I met Danny Roscoe there, right? And Danny Roscoe, you've been on the podcast with him, the Black and White Unite guy, one that's trying to get the footballers to get off their knees, and he's a black guy, it's anti-BLM and stuff like that. Okay. And he said to me, I mentioned to him about the Earth being flat. He said, "You're the second person that said that to me." I said, "Who's that?" He was the first. He said, "This guy called Dave, he's known as Flat Earth Dave, came on the podcast with me and started asking me about flight paths. And he showed me the podcast, right, on his phone. And I'm like, "Danny," I said, "if cognitive dissonance needed a picture in the dictionary, that's your face right there, mate." Do you know what I mean? He was just like, you're asking him like, well, if we lived on a spinning ball, explain the flight paths, and he just didn't know what to say. You completely caught him by surprise. And when I met him like in person, he's like, "You're the second person." And now I've convinced him. He's a globe denier. He's not a full-on flat Earth, but he now denies the globe.
This flight path alone from what is it, Santiago? I can't see this anymore. It got really small. Santiago to Johannesburg goes all the way up to Seagal, right? Crosses the equator. The equator's right here. Why would a southern flight to a southern origin to a southern destination cross the equator, right? Never. Any two spots in the north, which is inside this circle, you can draw a straight line from any two points, and it would never cross the equator. But many southern flights cross the equator, and that's because it's a straight line. Yeah. This is the flight path. Never ever will, like, hey, I'm going to go from the USA to the Far East, and I'm going to dip down to the southern hemisphere and then come back. Never happens.
No, it's crazy.
But on a ball, north is on the top, south is on the bottom. There's no need to cross the equator to get from two southern locations. For some reason, many flight paths do it. Many.
I've actually got a friend that's a pilot, right? And about maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. I used to live with him in the early 20s. He was at the uni where I am, keen musician and everything, but he always wanted to be a pilot. Anyway, he's a pilot. And we got back in touch after like I said, maybe 20 years and not talking. And I'm like chatting away on Messenger, and I'm like, do you know what, mate? I said, I've been researching the shape of the Earth for like the last year, so I'm pretty convinced the Earth's flat. And he just went, the Earth's not flat. And then he blocked me. No, you blocked me, but he like ignored me. And then he video called me 6 months later, and about half an hour into his video call, I said, have you got a picture of the curve yet? What, pilot boy? He goes, nah, mate, turns out you're right, the Earth is flat. You know what I mean? So even as a pilot, he still didn't accept it, even though he sees a flat plane every day. Do you know what I mean?
You have to look into it. You have to, stop believing their nonsense and look into it. And once you do, you can't unsee what you see.
No, once you go flat, you don't globe back, do you?
You don't globe back. That's good.
You know what I mean? And it's the unavoidable conclusion when you examine all the evidence, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
It's unavoidable. A 6 foot tall person standing at the edge of calm water should see a physical horizon no farther than 3 miles. Okay. Well, when you watch the sunset over the water, is that horizon that it's going behind 3 miles away, or is it 30 miles away?
It's just simple things as well. Like if you were on a spinning ball and it was like 8 inches per mile squared, and 8 inches as a decimal of a foot is 0.666. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
of course,
you better be on a 23.4 degree axis tilt. 90 minus 23.4, 666 again. Do you know what I mean? But just bare logic of ships disappear over a curve, and non-science guys shill now used to show us ships disappearing over a curve. It'd be called the curves in. You'd clearly see evidence of curvature from left to right, but it's just flat. It's always flat.
Yeah. So let's talk about the curvature left to right, because yes and no. Because on a ball, let's say whatever the horizon is, whatever distance you see of the horizon in front of you, you're going to see it the same distance at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. You're going to see it the same distance. So imagine yourself standing on top of a ball, and you see the horizon at X distance, and it's going to be at X distance, which would be the same amount of drop in all directions. So are you going to see a curve like that, or are you going to see a curve more like, if I could come up with my image because jumbled again. Here we go. So here you are. You're standing here, and this is the limit of your vision. Okay, this is straight down. So if we're standing here, I can only see this far. Same distance over here. Same distance over here. Then you draw a straight line, and this is just the limit of my vision, and I see extra sky beyond it. So I'm not going to see this. I'm going to see this. I'm going to see a flat curve. Like looking across a circular table, you see the edge of the table. It's not going like that. On a ball, you would not see this left to right. You would see the same elevation in all directions, but a curved line. If I held my finger out and draw a line all the way around, that's the limit of my vision. That's not a curve like this, right? Most flat earthers don't even get that, but it looks like a sphere. Right? You think this is the curve of a sphere. You think this is dropping. This is just because I can only see 10 miles this way, 10 miles this way, 10 miles this way. And this is how I see, right? Because this yellow line here is farther than the 10 miles. This is 10 miles here, just for a number, I'm making it up. This is farther than 10 miles. This is even farther and farther and farther. So my vanishing point, the way my eyes work, everything comes together. That's my horizon, my vanishing point. Well, that makes a circle around me. A circle, not a circle like this. Follow?
I'm getting that. I'm getting that. Yeah, but you would see it from left to right, wouldn't you?
Right. So just get a piece of string and a marker, and get a basketball or beach ball, whatever, and pin it to the hold it to the center, and then draw a circle around, and you'll see that circle doesn't drop down. It stays at the exact same elevation from your top center point of view. You're always on the top and the center of a ball. That's how you have to look at a ball. And you draw that line. It's not going to go over the curve. It's going to go around you in a curve at the exact same elevation, right?
I get it.
It's not even that important of a point. But
No,
when you fight with a glober, they're like, you don't, if a glober gets that, luckily globers are so stupid they can't even comprehend what I just said. But some of them do know that point, and they'll argue it in a way that there is no winner. But
what kind of arguments? What kind of like? Because I remember. I mean, I put a £10 million challenge out there for one proof that we live on a globe, and you can't use any government-run space agencies. You can't use pseudosciences like gravity, and the FIFA World Cup doesn't count. Neither does a globe in a shop or a textbooks at school or a film. One actual real proof, and no one's done it. But someone actually said some guy with 2 sticks proved it years ago. I'm like, come on, you know what I mean?
Their number one, their best globe proof is you're a moron, Dave. That's their best. That's their best globe proof, and then the advanced globe trolls don't even use Aristophanes anymore because they know how debunked that ridiculous argument is. Aristophanes, they say the sun's so far away, the light rays are coming in parallel, so Aristophanes has no shadow here. And his buddy over here can measure a shadow. So he did some really good math, actually accurate math. The equation was correct. It's assuming a sphere. It's assuming parallel rays. I don't know why they would assume parallel rays when nobody in the history of ever has seen parallel rays. Right? No. So he does the math, and Carl Sagan has burned into our brains that he figured it out within 2% of the actual size of the Earth. Amazing. And Carl Sagan on Cosmos, had the light rays, the sun, he had a flat sheet, and they bent it, and then there was the shadows. But we don't have a far sun. We have a local sun, okay? Mm-hmm. And here it is, no shadow. Here it is shadow, same angles. Do the same math, and the math will tell you that this flat surface is a sphere, mm-hmm. Right? You have one wrong variable in an equation. The equation's useless, okay? So I know that you have over $100 million in your bank account because whatever you have in there times 100 million is what you have. Okay. So if you have $2 in there, now you have 200 million. That's amazing because 2 times 100 million is 200 million. Okay. Congratulations.
It's just, I literally do find it utterly ridiculous. I mean, the more advanced debaters, for example, they start bringing about explaining tides and how far away is the sun. Do you know what I mean?
Neil deGrasse Tyson says that the tides really don't move. The sun is here. You have to check this out. This is Neil. I should get the friggin' he has an animation. I'm gonna make a note to make that. He says so. The sun or the moon is pulling the tide, bulging on one side of the Earth. So the tide is bulging out, right?
Right, okay. It's a pear-shaped so
it's bulging out. And then on the other side of the Earth, there's another high tide. And that's because the moon is pulling the Earth away from the water on the other side. So there's a bulge on 2 sides. And then the Earth turns into that bulge. So the land...
People just believe it, don't they?
People, oh my God, it's so stupid. I'm like, what is wrong with people?
I know.
What is wrong?
Yeah, I just find it utterly ridiculous, you know what I mean? And they'll never stop. They need to be stopped, but we're just going to carry on more lies upon lies, aren't you? They've gone too far with it now, you know what I mean?
They just believe whatever you tell them.
Yeah,
right? Ice crystals are doing this, okay? Give me a break.
I remember I was mentioning before about how I came to research it. Well, I didn't speak to the 2 people I mentioned for over a year. And I sent them a message. I set them up in a group chat on WhatsApp and I said, in conclusion, bearing in mind they'd asked me over a year ago to settle the argument between them. I said, in conclusion, Earth isn't flat. I said, there's mountains and valleys, etc. But all volumes of unmanipulated water find a horizontal level. It's proportionally flatter with a pancake.
There you go.
She sent me 10 proofs that Earth is a globe. So I looked at it, 7 of them started with scientists at NASA. I said, you know what? I've gone that far down the rabbit hole. I just hear pseudoscientists from an organisation set up by Nazis are trying to deceive you. And when I sent there were 200 proofs Earth is not a globe by Eric Dubé, I said, I hear your offer, debunks it and raise you that. Do you know what I mean?
On my app, I have under the debunking the debunkers the answer to that, because people, they search top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe, and they get that same video, same article, and it goes through each one of them, showing you how they're just straw man gaslighting arguments.
It's just crazy. I mean, you do a lot of good stuff. Every debate does a lot of good stuff. I like a lot of ODD's music, because we did actually have a page on our website, which will hopefully be back up soon, but it's just been shut down because we were getting a bit too influential, powerful, and there was far too much information on there. Do you know what I mean? Because we had a page about 5G, which needs to stop. We had all sorts about the dangers of that, which is a serious issue. But I had a complete page and I didn't put flat Earth or Earth is flat. I called it Shape of Earth. And when I had some of my lyrics on there, and I had quite a lot of very deep stuff. I also had Flat Earth Man, aka Conspiracy Music Guru, because I'll tell you how I became to find out about him. I was researching it for about 6 months, but I felt like I was going blind because no one around me had even mentioned it. It's like, and I'm the only one that thinks this. Do you know what I mean? And then I had my brother on an app called Line App, and it had on his logo, he said he had NASA, but he spelled out liars, and he said Earth is not a globe. So I phoned him straight away. I'm like, damn, what do you mean Earth's not a globe, mate? He says, oh, yeah, the Earth's flat, mate. I said, well, why didn't you tell me? He says, well, you just lose all your friends and you just argue with people all the time. Do you know what I mean? And then so he sent me some music videos then of Flat Earth Man and ODD and people like that. So that helped me big time, having that little thing with my brother, even though he was ashamed he didn't go out and tell me, his own brother. Do you know what I mean?
Are you aware of my app?
Yeah, I downloaded it a while ago. I have to occasionally delete it if I'm running out of memory and need to do some other stuff. But yeah, you know what I mean?
So in the app, which I'm showing right now, if you hit the web button, up comes tons of resources. Bottom right, Flat Earth Man. All of his great NASA busting videos are there.
Yeah, man.
Under FE Movies in the center is Flat Earth. The ODD's got some stuff in there. On the middle line to the left, debunking the debunkers. You click that, and up comes a playlist that YouTube is hiding from you of all of the videos that literally take apart National Geographic, all of the stuff, including top 10 reasons. It's in here somewhere. So these are videos that you won't find by searching on YouTube because they're hidden from you.
Yep.
And we're updating this all the time. Anytime there's a new video, we add it in. Books, right? I recommend books because we're not going to have the internet for that long, and books are going to be the only thing that is going to bring our history forward as they erase it.
I mean, the biggest flat Earth book out there is the Bible, isn't it?
It is.
You know what I mean?
I should probably add the Bible to this book list.
Yeah, it's the biggest flat Earth book, isn't it? It says it,
right.
You know, numerous quotes in the Bible that says that it's right. Flat.
Here's a link, top one, Conspiracy Music Guru, to his music, if anybody wants to find that stuff. I'm trying to make this a place where flat earthers can go find other flat earthers, flat earth-based products. This one is new. This one is unbelievable. For those of you that like to prep, right? If you're like, hey, I need to store some food, well, nothing better than a solid nut mix, which is packed well and will last. High density calories, delicious too. But this is it's also great as a gift because on the back of it, you can't read it here. It's all flat earth facts. It's all flat earth facts. She's got QR codes on there to bring you to websites. The whole thing is a flat smacking, and the nut mix is amazing too. It's literally, it's like awesome. So I'm going to buy a few cases of that. One, give it out to sleeping people, and two, when the lights go out, I'll have something to eat.
It's, I saw you on David Dino Rodriguez podcast. He's not quite fully there yet, is he?
He's there, but he's not giving it that much thought because he's busy doing what he does. But he knows anytime, he hears something NASA or something Globe, he'll take a stab at it, but he does it as a joke because he's so afraid of losing his channel and losing his subs. But I've been on David 2 or 3 times now. Time to go back on there again, but he knows.
He's a legend.
Knows.
He was meant to do a podcast with us, and do you know what? I watch his videos. I find them hilarious. But there's some times where Nino's the only person who makes me laugh all day. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Where
are you? Are you in the you're in the United Kingdom?
Whoops. Yeah, Northwest United Kingdom.
So right here you are. Can't even find you anymore. Northwest.
There's quite a lot there. Are
you where is it? Over
down,
here?
Down. Yeah, there. So near Blackpool and Liverpool there, just all
right. Down have you tried to contact anybody in the app yet?
No, I haven't. It might be a good thing to do. I think my brother's got it. My brother's got it, so I'll find him on it.
so you tap on a dot and you can message a person. Bam, you can send them an instant message. But a new feature, if you have the latest version, this circle here is showing how many people are within 50 kilometers. And I have 200 and 205 people, 206. And if I tap on that 206 on the upper left, I can send them all a message. Hey, we're having a meetup at the bar and grill tomorrow at 3 p.m. And 206 people get that message on their phone, and you have instant meetups.
Can anyone do that, or just
anybody can do this? Everybody can do this, right?
That's brilliant.
I can go in. I could say, you know what? I want a smaller group, but just 10 kilometers. And at 10 kilometers, I have 22 people. Bam! Send them a message.
Right. Okay. I'll be sharing a link first, but I share it on Telegram afterwards and the other platforms. Yeah.
But real quick, for those of you that are worried, right now I have my exact location on, which is showing that red circle on the right. If I hit the one below it, that puts me in a location which is within 5 miles. So so if you're nervous, all right, I have a random location within 5 miles of where I am. That's pretty cool. Okay. Or you can just hit the off button. But I don't mind. There I am. That's where I am. Eat it, right? Yeah. And I only have it populating because we're getting a lot of people on here. We have what's the number down here? 29,491 dots. So if you want to see what's off to the left, you just pull off, and then the circle will move and it'll repopulate. Yeah, right. And then another thing is on the bottom, the 29,000. If you want to see the whole Earth, just click that 29,000. Up comes the web version, which is not interactive, and then you can see whole countries. Like here I am, and I can zoom in. Yeah, man. Right. You know what my favorite one is? Check this out.
Go on.
Check this out. Go down here. Antarctica. Bam! Look at that. There's a guy at Casey Station. Zoom in.
No way.
Yep. There it is, Casey Station. He's right there.
Can you message him?
I have messaged him.
What's he said?
Well, first he said that he's not there, and that he hacked it and he made itself like he was there. So he knew the exact location. One, you can't do it. I said, okay, put yourself in Greenland right now. He couldn't do it, right? He sort of admitted it, but he's there. He's been there for months.
No way.
He's been there for months. But great way to show how Flat Earth is growing. I mean, this will be 30,000 by tonight, and it's growing more and more. And that's not even all of the app users. And the app users count for probably 1% of the Flat Earthers in the world, maybe even less.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, as I said, Craig and Azzy were hoping to join us, but one of them has got young kids, and the other one does a lot of boxing and personal training. But me and him had a similar story. Like when I first met him, I'm like, have you figured out the Earth flat yet? He went, yeah, about 5 years ago. I'm like, me too, mate. I said, did you lose all your friends as well? And everyone think you were crazy. You went, yeah. I'm like, give me a hug, mate. Do you know what I mean? But he had like quite a big platform on social media. But it's one of them, once you know, you want to start screaming it, don't you? And then that's when a lot of people back away.
This is, so many people have said, I've been alone. My friends think I'm crazy. I can't relate to anybody. Then I brought this out, and they're like, oh my God, there's somebody 2 blocks from me. They message. Now they're best friends. One of my best friends I met because of Flat Earth right here in my town. People are doing meetups. They're like meeting at coffee shops, like, yo. And guess what? Any one of those dots will become your best friend because you're all on the same page already, right?
Yeah.
What are the odds you're going to meet somebody that has so much in common, right? So much in common with you. So
this is a big one, though, isn't it? This is a big one because once you accept the line about the shape of the Earth,
you see everything else.
Yeah,
right?
everything's a lie.
You know how Globers say, "Oh, flat earthers, you're so dumb. Get out of your mother's basement. Don't breed." That was their number one. Don't breed. Well, we may be the only ones that can breed after this whole thing because we all know about this.
Yeah,
right.
You know, it's funny actually because I put a post out and I said 100% of people that know the Earth's flat will not be taking part in this medical experiment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then one guy let me down. Actually, one guy let me down.
There is a very small percentage of people that are in hard spots that they can't lose their job and they chose not to. It's their choice.
Yeah.
And they caved. Right. They're going to regret it later, but hopefully they got the saline and not the other.
Yeah.
And
I think they need 95% then. You know what I mean?
No, I think 99.9%.
Yeah, let's go for that one then.
But anyone that didn't really regrets it. They're awake and aware. They did it because their life is hard, and they just couldn't make it harder, and whatever the reason.
Good job, this guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's no possible you get this or the guillotine. I'll take the guillotine. Okay. Yeah. I'll take the guillotine.
Yeah. You're only that one. You know what I mean? When I was down at the protest pen, I was getting like people, "Oh, you murderer," and people go past going, "Get the vaccine." I'm like, "It's not a vaccine, it's a bioweapon." You know what I mean? I actually had one guy try swinging a punch at me. He said to me, he was with his son, so he might have been a bit, touchy, whatever. And he said, "I'm wearing a mask because I've got a chest infection." I said, "No, you're not." I said, "You've got a chest infection because you're wearing a mask."
Right?
He took a swing at me. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, the hypnosis is very, very deep on this.
It's very, very deep, and obviously, be careful what we're saying because I think you want to put it on YouTube.
I do. Don't go any farther than we went.
Yeah, we go for Telegram though.
God bless Dr. Fauci, the most wonderful man ever. Hey. Anybody?
Hey, come on. You tell us Bill Gates is trying to save the world next.
If anybody gets to ever ask Dr. Fauci a question, I have a question that you need to ask. Right, and I was listening at a Crow 777 Radio, the doctor that they had on who wrote Goodbye Germ Theory, a book that, not going to show. Goodbye Germ Theory, a book that everyone needs to get. He said the question that you have to ask Dr. Fauci is, do you worship Satan? Because he can't deny it if he does, or he dies, like deny and die, or something like that. That's the question that we want to put out there, and he will not answer it. He won't say no, just like the astronauts wouldn't put their hand on the Bible and swear that they walked on the moon. Do you worship Satan? That's the question that anybody could ask Fauci. Anybody, how about this? $500 if somebody asks them that on camera. I'll give you $500, my word. I'll send it over to you in cryptocurrency. $500 if you ask Dr. Fauci on camera, do you worship Satan?
That's a great question.
And if you ask him 3 times in a row and he still doesn't answer it, $1,000.
See, now, what about people like Boris Johnson? Because obviously I can't get to Fauci being in England, but if I'm going back to London this week...
I think we should ask all of these satanic leaders that we know do worship Satan. That's the question you have to ask them, because if they do, they're not allowed to deny it. Now, some people are like, "Oh, what do you mean? They could deny it. They're liars anyway." They can't. They're not allowed to lie like that. Just like they have to tell us what they're doing, right?
Well,
you worship Satan.
That. I can say Boris Johnson was on TV the other day and we were talking about... obviously his dad wrote a book like the population program, but Boris Johnson literally live on TV said, "Oh, we'll just feed some humans to the animals," and I'm like, people are watching that laughing, thinking, "Ha, there's a funny man." And then there's other people going, "Yeah, we know that's what you do. You see, you know what I mean?" It's like
there was a whistleblower. I could send you the link. It's on BitChute that came out of Windsor Castle. Did you see the woman the other day that she was abused as a child in the basement there, chained to a wall, hunting games, all sorts of stuff with blood, and crazy. And she whistle blew the whole thing. She said she doesn't care anymore. Crazy story, but you can tell it's coming from her heart.
Yeah,
So
satanic ritual abuse. I think she's called, is it Jeanette Archer?
it might be. It was brunette woman who
Yeah,
escaped.
I
Yeah,
shared it on our channel yesterday. She actually does, because obviously I'm quite big on the protest scene, if you like, you know what I mean? And she does quite a few speeches down in London. I know the guy who films
it's
her.
probably her. It's probably her.
Well, on the main channel show that she works with, they share a lot of my stuff. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos of MPs getting like absolutely schooled about the Great Reset and Bill Gates and that. I know it like Donald Trump's channel shared it on Telegram, and there's a lot. They get millions of views. It's like I'm a smart ass man behind the camera, saying, going up to the cabinet members and top MPs, going, "Can we chat about the Great Reset, please? We're being told we're going to own up for it and be happy. Is that negotiable? Do you know what I mean?" And I make put a lot of them on the spot. Do you know what I mean? And one of them got really, really quite angry at me, and he's like, "Why aren't you at work?" I said, "It's a full-time job doing what I do." Do you know what I mean? And he's like, "Get a job." I said, "I've got a job. I'm getting you lot arrested." Do you know what I mean? And
It's Jeanette. Did you say Jeanette Archer?
That's Jeanette Archer.
Yeah, it's Jeanette Archer.
I might have said Janine.
Yeah, Jeanette Archer exposing the Satanic Queen at Windsor Castle. Crazy stuff. Crazy. And she also gets into this little reptilian stuff going on. It's fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I mean, I say to people, I'm like, I sign up for everything David Icke says, apart from the Queen being a lizard, but everything else I'm with him on. And I actually met David Icke, right? I met him a few times, but I met him last year at a protest in Trafalgar Square. I met him outside Downing Street, and I said to him, right, you'll laugh at it, you'll find this funny. I said, David, and I didn't know, but I got filmed doing it, and I didn't know that until I was on the coach on the way home. I said, David, have you figured out where's flat yet? Or is that a conspiracy too far for you? And he chuckled, and like, we carried on walking. And I told him like a bit of a history in researching that. And I said to him, I was asked recently if I could remove one thing from the world, what would it be? And he said, what was it? I said, with pseudo-scientific satanic globe deception on top of a FIFA World Cup that a lot of people think is the Holy Grail, and due to Bill Gates, what he wants to do to every single one of us, that's bend him over, pull his pants down and put somebody inside him he doesn't want. David Icke found that quite funny. And when I met him a year later, I'm like, do you remember meeting me, David? He's like, of course I do, mate. You know what I mean? I think that's probably, you solve the world with that. Just take that globe off the FIFA World Cup and, Sorry,
you said that, or he said that? You said
I said that to David.
All right, nice.
Yeah, I think that's the solution. I think we could probably solve the world with that one, because
there's so many people that speak out like David Icke and others, and because they don't know that the Earth is flat or don't talk about it because they don't know mostly, doesn't make them a shill. It's just they were like us. It's not something they got to.
Yeah.
I was well versed on all of the big events, 9/11. Sandy, Boston, all of it. And I thought flat Earth was the dumbest thing ever. But then I looked, right?
Yeah.
So I gatekept. You could call me a gatekeeper, but I was ignorant. And what I say to people after an interview at the beginning, if they believe in the globe, I'm like, right now you're ignorant. I'm going to educate you. And at the end of this, you'll either be a globe denier. I don't want you to be a flat earther yet, just a globe denier, or you'll be willfully ignorant.
Yeah. Cognitive dissonance levels on some people, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, the thing is, right, my initial reaction to my mate was, you need sectioning, you crazy man. What do you mean the Earth's flat? But the thing is, I went away from there and I went down the rabbit hole, and I didn't go online and start calling people out. So many people that dig their heels in, and then once we've made that stance, we don't want to turn around, do you know what I mean? I got challenged to go on a group, which it was Flat Earth Mock and Ridicule. The mate said, go on that group. So obviously they just they ridicule the flat earthers. So I went on there and I just put, obviously it's not a globe. Just look at the picture. You put a picture. I said, it's like Father Christmas with big kids. You bunch of globetards need to grow up, right? Wow, triggered them all. Do you know what I mean? We came at me. And then, it's very time consuming. And I think I went on to expert level of trolling when I went on to Elon Musk's Twitter account and he put a picture of SpaceX. I said, SpaceX is faker than Fake McFake from Fake Town in Fake Shire in Fake Land, and faker in the moon landing hoax that was fake as fuck. Hashtag defund NASA. That was some of like the 72 most stressful hours of my life, but came after that, mate. Do you know what I mean? I must have triggered all kinds of people.
Elon Musk put a car in space. You can't say that's fake.
You know, you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. An actual
You can
quote.
tell it's real because it looks so fake, for
That's
sure.
an actual quote, yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell it's fake.
But
'cause it
wait,
looks
how
so
could they
fake.
do this reflection? Watch, you can see the reflection of the earth when the car spins around. They can't fake that. Look, see, here. Look, there's the earth. How could they fake that? Right?
See,
That
I actually had someone say to me, I said, oh, you don't believe that SpaceX thing's real? He said, I was watching it last night for 3 hours. I'm like, what? You don't think it's real, do you? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I think I shattered his illusion because he went and researched it, and I think he's on board with a flat Earth now. But you do feel like going into a classroom and telling people Father Christmas isn't real sometimes. You know what I mean?
you don't know it until you're shown it, right? You can't
Yeah.
see how fake everything is. I mean, everything looks so real, but it's all fake. It's faker than fake.
Uh-huh. I mean, I've got one of my many. I'm known as like the people's poet, one of my names, but I'm known as the UK Eric Dubé, which is like I wear that badge with honour sort of thing.
Okay.
I convinced Jason Manford on Absolute Radio in 6 minutes live on national radio that the Earth was flat. I was trying to get we were talking about banning words from a dictionary, so I said I want to ban the word globe or global. And then 6 minutes, he's like, oh, he's convinced me. Do you know what I mean? But there was a bit of social media wars going on every time. And people are like, I've never felt more like smashing my phone against the wall, listening to a mad mank going about a flat earth. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely
People get so upset when you try to take their ball away, right? You're taking their ball away, and it's the foundation of their worldview.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I just find it utterly ridiculous. A bit like yourself now. Yeah, I think I kind of like flipped it in the sense that I mock people over it now. I think it's gone past the phase that we're the ones getting mocked. I flipped it now. I mock them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I try not to make fun of Globers because I was one, right?
Yeah.
I was one, but I will make fun of them after an interview if they still don't get it. Right?
I know.
If they don't get it, then they are now willfully ignorant or just stupid, because they've fluoridated people's minds enough. They've poisoned us with enough of this. They've given us enough crap food, enough television programming where people's brains have stopped working. You can barely memorize stuff, but there's no way are they creatively thinking. They're trying to shut down our right brain, and which is creative, and that's what creates the world. Creation. Our thoughts, they've limited it by putting us in a ball. They've put us in fear, which is a low vibration. They've taken away our power, and we've willfully given it to them because, we're believing nonsense. People are afraid of nuclear bombs. Well, anytime you hear Kim Jong-un or nuclear bomb in a news story, laugh because it's fake. It's all fake.
You see, I remember the film Nicolas Cage for Knowing, right? And this is how, right? So I remember watching that, and it's basically we were tracking solar flares, weren't we? And they came and killed everyone on Earth, basically. Everyone just stood there waiting to see if we were going to hit Earth. Boom, hit Earth, everyone died, right? But next day, after watching that, or it might have been the same night, it was actually the same night I was watching it, it said, on the news, scientists at NASA have discovered that solar flares could be hitting Earth for the next 36 hours, which is going back 10 years ago, right? And I'm watching it, I'm thinking, what? You know what I mean? There's genuine fear in me. And then the next day in the garden, this is like the first time I kind of questioned it, but didn't question it, if you know what I mean. I'm looking at my son and I'm just thinking, if that's 93 million miles away and there's flares coming, at what point are we going to see the flares? And it's just like, but I didn't.
It's supposedly a flare that was supposed to hit yesterday on Halloween. Big, massive solar flare, and the channel Suspicious Observers, who either is just a NASA fanboy brainwashed moron or a shill. I think he's the first. He was telling, this is going to hit. It could disrupt communications. It came, it went, nothing happened. Nothing. Like always, it's always, and then there's always like on Halloween, NASA discovers a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern shaped asteroid. And then on Halloween, a skull shaped asteroid. Just Google it. NASA finds, Halloween asteroid every year. Same story. Again and again and again. They grow lettuce in space every couple of years. Oh, we're growing lettuce in space. Like, we're doing science. What science are you doing in space, right? It's all nonsense.
It is all nonsense. I mean, that what's he called? The astronaut where, I'd go back to the moon in a nanosecond. But the problem is we don't have the technology anymore.
Yeah, that would be done. I say all astronauts are in on it. except possibly Don Pettit. He's actually retarded. All right.
You know what? I was actually going to say he actually is a retard.
Right.
And people believe it.
And so look, watch this. This little cup he made with his coffee. It offsets. Look, the color in the cup came offset because this is CGI.
When you listen to him talking, he's talking to like a load of 2 and 3 year olds.
Think about this. Listen to all the astronauts talk. They're idiots. They're morons, right? And you look at Air Force pilots, Air Force, fighter pilots. These guys are in shape, smart, top of their class, can speak. And then the guys that are going to the moon, they're absolute blithering idiots. Blithering idiots.
I say to people, I said, you've been telling me we landed on the moon next. I said, I think I believed in Father Christmas and flying reindeers long as we landed on the moon. I've taken it to that kind of like mockery with him, do you know what I mean? But did you hear the story that the Chinese landed on the moon a few months ago? That was more pathetic than NASA's. Have you seen the footage for that?
Oh, the Chinese landing on the moon was ridiculous. But did you see the Chinese landing their ship on Mars? Look, this is the only proof that China landed on Mars. Look, watch the shadow. Look how dark the shadow is. It's like, that's it.
Oh yeah,
that's it. And now they're gonna clap, and that's all. Yeah, that's it. They landed on Mars. That's what they landed on Mars with. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Are you kidding me? Right?
I just find it utterly ridiculous. But the amount of money, that's what you got to question, because this is taxpayers' money going.
$63 million a day. $63 million a day.
And that's just NASA, isn't it?
Right. Yeah, 63. That NASA gets $63 million a day for this. Ready? And I don't get $63 million. Whoa. I'm in space. Right?
Whoa. Yeah, you're in space. Oh, it's crazy.
$63 million a day to do this. All right?
Uncontrollable weather. Let's talk about what we're really doing with money.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to have to go now because I have to use the bathroom. My stomach isn't feeling so well, so I'm really concerned on how I'm going to deal with that.
It's just crazy, isn't it? But, yeah, I mean, distance and size of the sun, Dave. Where do you stand with that one?
Distance and size of the sun. I stand a little closer than most flat earthers. I think the sun that we see is just above the clouds. But if you move up, it moves up, right? I move up, it moves up.
See, now I've seen, I think a lot of people, say 32 miles wide, 3,000 miles away. I don't believe it's that far. Like the picture you're seeing there, I've seen like a Russian plane, a Russian fighter jet, literally next to it. And I've seen rockets hit the dome at 70 miles.
The Concorde, when the Concorde used to fly, they would tell people on one side of the plane to put down their shades because they're going to be passing the sun. What? Right? So the sun that we see, I don't believe it's a physical object. I believe the source of the sun is outside of the firmament. This is me, not every flat earther. But again, we don't know, but we can theorize and we can do experiments to show you how that might work. Like a projected sun into a personal atmospheric dome. Here I got a light over a dome on top of a white carpet. Okay. I'm just moving the light across, not coming in closer. And then inside the dome, I see this light. And it goes and it goes, and then it sets and it stops, and then it fades out. Right? It doesn't go below, it stops at the bottom. Okay. So where do we see that in reality? Because I always see the sun go down and it just sets behind whatever it's setting behind. Right here it goes again. The light is just coming back. I'm going across. It goes down, it stops, and then it fades out. So this is my sun fade out. I got a drone. It's freezing cold outside, no humidity. And the sun in 5 minutes went down, 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 down. And if the earth was spinning, it would just keep on going. But it didn't. It went down, 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 down. And it stopped. And it sat here for 10 minutes. Now, my friends at the beach saw it set from the bottom up 10 minutes earlier. But I'm still looking at the sun. And it sat here. It didn't go down. What did it do? It just got too far away to push through the atmospheric density. It just faded out. Here it is again, repeated. Okay. It just faded into the distance. Okay. That's what happens. Now, out of focus, this is as best that it can be focused because this is really small. I'm zoomed in, 4K camera. It stopped going down. It sat here. It sat here. You can see it going down and then it stopped. That shows that we're not spinning.
We're definitely not spinning. You know what I mean? We're definitely not spinning. I think we can.
Right.
You got Billy Shepherd, William Shepherd, Billy Shears there behind you.
Yeah. Not Paul McCartney. But the fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning around. It's right in front of us.
Well, see, there was a John Lennon track as well. It was, is it watching? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. But if you type it in on YouTube, is it watching the world go by or something? But if you type in John Lennon Flat Earth song on YouTube, you'll find it. It's basically
nice. I'll check it out.
It's a John Lennon song where he basically, he's saying what it is, but it shows basically your app, basically, with a similar thing to that. It just shows the flat earth and the sun going round and that, and the lyrics John Lennon knew.
Check this out. I was at a conference and this guy had these models, and this looks amazing in person, but there was a sun. I made a sun floating. Literally, it was floating in the middle.
Right.
And all I'm doing is just bringing my iPhone light around, moving it around. So the source is up here. We have the sun here. Now add greater distances. The sun is way too big for this model. And then add atmosphere. And, the atmosphere gets really thick and the sun just goes behind that atmospheric deck of opacity. And there it is.
Yeah. It's, see, I've gone down that rabbit hole as well, if you like, of that possibility. But beyond the ice wall, have you seen that Buddhist map from is it 10,000 years ago, where it's saying was like another there we go.
Right.
Yeah.
That again, speculation. Anything above or higher than we can reach or beyond the shoreline of Antarctica, it's speculation. This makes sense to me. This makes sense to me. Right?
Yeah.
This all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The ball doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Definitely more land out there. That's the thing. The ball's a prison for your mind. There's definitely more land out there. You know what I mean? It's
right.
That's undoubted. That's undoubted for me. I mean, I looked into the crater Earth theory for a bit. Have you looked into that one? Although,
Yeah. Did you watch the Ewarrenon videos?
The what? Sorry.
Ewarrenon, Lost History of Flat Earth.
No, I've not.
Oh my God, that's the dude. That's amazing. On the app, hit the web button and then hit the Lost History of Flat Earth. A new one. Everyone's been waiting for months and months and months. A new one came out. That's on the top, but the second one is really the first one. It's a 5-hour video. 5 hours. Who's going to watch 5 hours? Right? I guarantee you, if you watch 10 minutes, you'll watch the next 10 minutes. And if you watch the next 10 minutes, you will not be able to turn it off for the entire 5 hours. And I guarantee you'll watch it again. Guaranteed. Mind blower. Mind blower. He talks about the Earth that we see and then the greater Earth beyond. And all of it is mapped out on the moon. I was resisting this for the longest time. But even going beyond that, his explanation of what is going on here is better than anyone I've ever seen, right? This green land is the world that we know, our known world.
Yep.
The North Pole is right here, but our North Pole follows this line for a great year, 25,000 years around. So every 15 degrees is 2,160 years, which is that a great year or whatever the cycle is? So our puddle migrates around. So all of this other land is in Antarctica, what we call Antarctica. Everything outside of this circle is Antarctica. This is our unknown world. So in 12,000 years from now, our realm will be over here. Watch the video. Watch the video. Watch the video.
If someone says watch something like that, and it's you saying, I'm definitely going to watch it because knowledge is power, isn't it? I'm not one of those.
Yep.
I've never turned down more information. You can never have too much, can you? Do you know what I mean? But
right.
The shape of the earth should be what it is, and the levels of indoctrination. School books. Every time you walk in school, you know, it's there, isn't it? Everything, everywhere you look at with TV. I mean, I walk past the TV before. I don't watch television apart from to press that YouTube button pretty much, you know. I actually watched the film V for Vendetta before, which is a good film, you know, all about, you know, November, remember 5th of November and everything. And
yeah, that's coming up.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of people like worldwide. I know London, I reckon at least 1 million in London, I reckon, this weekend. I'm making a 200-mile trip down there as well again. So, you know, there's a lot going on. But yeah, at the moment, everyone's obsessed with climate change, and it was this big, you know.
You're not allowed to talk about that on YouTube or you get taken down. Now you can't even question climate change.
It's crazy, isn't it? Well, we won't go down to Bill Gates playing God of the Weather then. We'll leave that one alone then for today.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, you know, don't want to harp on about HARP or anything like that. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just the levels of indoctrination. It's like, you know, the mass media manipulation and everything. It's just shocking, isn't it? You know what I mean? Once you see it.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know? Once you realize that NASA's lying, I remember when this photo came out, they're like, oh my God, the world is not as reflective anymore. All the pollution. This is how bad it's got. This was shown on the news. See the problem here? They forgot to change the clouds. The same clouds. Look, same cloud. Same cloud.
You see, when you look at the clouds as well, we have like, we copy and paste them, don't they? We're lazy with it. And like, we've even spelled out like sex, and I've seen there's Pluto and there's Pluto's face, and it's just like, I'm taking the piss. People are swallowing this shit. Do you know what I mean?
People just want to believe. People want to believe, you know, we can see the world like this when we can measure this distance. And according to the diameter, it should be fit 8.5 of these segments in between these two lines. If the Earth is if you know, if this is a photo, you need to be able to fit 8.5 of those between this line. 8.5 is the diameter.
It is Photoshop, but it has to be. Hey, Dave, it is Photoshop, but it has to be.
Photoshop, but it has to be. Correct.
Robert Simmons, the creator of the cartoon ball, that's his actual quote in it.
$34 million in 1964. Still have it today. $50 million in 1972 for this. Went to the moon.
Went to the moon. Come on. When you look at it as well, it's like it's made of foil and cardboard in it. It's just ridiculous.
Bunch of actronauts went to the moon, and they have their own Hollywood Hall of the Star of Fame.
Yeah,
they're actronauts. Actronauts.
I mean, Buzz Aldrin, he got interviewed by that young girl, wasn't it? And he said, "Yeah, why haven't you gone back to the moon?" He went, "Because we never went." You know what I mean? He wanted his ass to swear on the Bible, and he couldn't do it. And
the Polish astronaut that said the Earth is flat a couple of years ago, he disappeared.
Yeah.
Crazy, fascinating, right?
You know, it's just, you see, right, it's bench wars, yeah. While you've got that picture up, I was in Wales, and there was this woman sat on a bench. Now, it wasn't a bench for about a mile, right? So two of my mates, both walking barefoot on the grass, on the beach and everything. Right? So I just walked barefoot, so we walked for ages barefoot. There was this woman sat there on her own. He said, "Oh, how are you doing? You all right?" She's like, "Oh, yeah." I said, he said, "Well, what brings you out here?" Because it was like a bit of an isolated place. He said, "Oh, well, you see what it is." We said, "We used to believe we lived on a globe, and we've cut it." Said, "Just looking at the directions of the rays of light coming through them clouds there, you can clearly see the sun's not 93 million miles away. So we're going to try and use trigonometry to figure out how far away the sun is, because we all found out the Earth was flat." And I've never seen anyone move so quick. That's how you take over a bench in Wales. You know what I mean? It's like, she just ran away. And she's like, you know, I can imagine going to her friends, "Oh my God, I bet a flat Earth was in real life when there was 3 of them." Do you know what I mean?
And I'm not saying this because it's mine, but the most effective tool is the app. When you're describing it, if you have someone's interest, break out the app, put on the time lapse, and they go, "Oh, that's how it works," right?
Yeah.
And then either they'll just get the app themselves or gift it to them. Send them the link. Let them scan the QR code in there, and then once they have the app, tell them about the challenge, the 3 Bitcoin challenge. Okay, 3 Bitcoins for 1 proof of the globe. And then they come back to you. They're like, "Damn it, you ruined my life. My spouse thinks I'm crazy. My kids have disowned me. My friends have left me. But that's okay. You're going to get better friends."
Yeah.
You know, and kids, they're not so great.
You see, I've actually used the app. And what I did like a screen recording. And then, like I said, when people ask me about how it works, I said, just think yin yang. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's your day and night thing, yin yang. And it takes 6 months to go from one tropic to the other. So there's your seasons. I said, such a beautifully created environment for us to live in. You know, like the Big Bang Theory. You know, it's back. I mean, the TV program, The Big Bang Theory. I remember saying to people, I'm like, I can't watch it. I'm gonna have to go out. You know what I mean? I just like walk away. I'm like, you know, it's a theory and it's not real, don't you? I knew someone who used to be able to recite the entire introduction to it. I'm like, you know, none of that's real, don't you? And it's just some people are that fixated into it.
Yeah.
We're completely and utterly crazy. You know what I mean?
We're running out of time. Any final things you want to cover?
Yeah, man. Tides, cover tides. You know, what would you say covers? You know, influences of tides. You know, the North Pole. Talk about the sensor as well.
Well, the tides is a tough one, but it's definitely not the moon because think about this: we're told that the full moon, you know, creates a bigger tide. What about the new moon? In the heliocentric model, the moon's still there; it's just not lit, right? Mm-hmm. If you go in the app and you click the frequently asked questions, what about the tides? And in here are some videos again that you won't find on YouTube that show, explain, you know, how the wake of the sun and the moon are part of it. You know, the Earth might be breathing in and out twice a day. Okay, that's another thing that's a possibility. But there's these weird tidal nodes. The second one, the second video shows you actual tide charts. There's high tides and low tides in the weirdest places at the same time. And there's no tides in certain areas. So the whole breathing, I think it's the respiration of the planet. It is provably not provably not the gravity of the moon, because you and I know that's not real. So watch that. I'm always looking for more information on that. But the whole tide thing, a little bit of a mystery, but again, it's like the flat Earth. You don't necessarily need to prove the flat Earth. You just have to prove that the ball is impossible, and it's completely 100% provable that the moon has no correlation to the tides.
Mm-hmm. No, sure. Now, I say to people, I say 5 3-letter words win the debate. You know, and it's the biggest mic drop ever. You can see too far.
Yeah, that was mine. We can see too far. That's it. Not a mirage. We can see too far.
Yeah, man, that's it, innit? That's the biggest mic drop on anyone, isn't it, really? You know
and also the lakes, you know, the spinning, whirling, twirling, and hurling. And we have lakes that are glass. Sorry, we're not moving.
I say to people, I said, you know, all volumes of unmanipulated water are always find a horizontal level, whether it's a sink, a bath, a pond, a lake, or an ocean. It's always flat.
Amazing. And nothing better than making new flat earthers, right? That's what I do every day. I make more flat earthers because flat earthers are awesome people.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I've watched quite a lot of your things, man. You're a top guy, do you know what I mean? So it's been a pleasure getting you on. Danny Roscoe said he's going to watch it with interest as well, do you know what I mean? Because I don't think he's quite there, but he's a globe denier. Do you know
anybody that doesn't think the Earth is a globe, that has a podcast, a YouTube show, any show, invite me on. Ask me your hardest questions. Try to claim the Bitcoins. Let's do it. Let's have a conversation.
I'm going to try and come up with something more ridiculous, though. Because I think Bill Gates trying to save the world has got to be close. I'm going to try.
It's close. I'll give it to you. It's close, but it's not as ridiculous as spinning, whirling, and twirling in a space vacuum where there's gas balls burning in a space vacuum. Okay.
Yeah. I tell you, it'd be good for you to get on that, because Piers Corbyn, Piers Corbyn is Jeremy Corbyn's brother. Jeremy Corbyn, the leader of the Labour Party, right? He's an astrophysicist, and he's big on the protest movement, and he's seen as like the the head of the anti-vaxxers, whatever, in England, and he's always getting arrested. He's like a 74-year-old man or whatever, but he won't admit it. I've been there with like about 8 people outside the pub, and I'm like, how long have you known the Earth's flat? And this guy's like, about 8 years. I'm like, how long have you known? About 5 years. How long have you known? About 4 years. And then Piers Corbyn, about how long have you known? He's like, you know what I mean? He won't have it because his whole career, you know what I mean? He's based on it being a spinning ball. But I've been offered 10 Bitcoin to get him to admit the Earth's flat, but I didn't succeed on my last trip to.
No, don't do that, because if anyone can admit the Earth. You know, when Bitcoin goes to $1 million, that's $10 million. You can know him if he says the Earth is flat. Say you give him 10 Bitcoins. If he gives you one proof of the globe, then your Bitcoin is safe.
Yeah, you can't, can you? You can't prove. You can't prove a lie. You
can't. You can't.
The globe's the biggest lie of all time. I mean, it got there for over 30 years, but you just accept the reality of the world presented to you, don't you?
I don't know if it's the biggest lie at all. I think our history, which is based on the globe, is all a lie. Look into the. I mean, you're looking into you're into mud floods and Tataria, right?
Yeah.
The button on the app under the web button, the mud floods button. Hit that. If you hit it and you're new to mud floods, bring food and water because you're not coming out for a long time.
Down another rabbit hole with Dave, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. It's a shame that Craig and Azzy couldn't jump on board, but maybe, you know, we both work very hard. We both got families and that. I'm a bit of a lone soldier doing what I do, so I always
No
find
worries.
something to do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a pleasure, and I'll share it on our Box Clever Army channel, and I don't know if you're going to put it on your
Send me a link
YouTube
when it
channel.
comes. Send me a
I
link.
will do. I will do.
All right.
It'll be on our Telegram channel. I'll probably put it on BitChute and brand YouTube, but a lot of my stuff's too controversial for that now, mate. They're coming down hard on me. I've just had my Instagram account shut down as well. I had a big Instagram account. I've just been shut down on that, and they're shutting me down from all
Well, the truth is very bad. You're a terrorist.
Apparently so, yeah.
Yes, you're a truth terrorist.
I'm a truth terrorist. I'm definitely a truth extremist. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I think that's fair to say, but that's a good
But
thing.
it's great. Isn't it? You would never trade this in for being a sleeping normie, right? If you had a choice, deal with all the crap that we deal with, or be a sleeping normie and blissfully ignorant. I would never choose that.
No, I wouldn't. But it's got to a point now because obviously, you know, people say, "Well, ignorance is bliss." Some said, "Well, it's not if billions of people are going to die because of your ignorance." Wake up, wake up. You know what I mean? Yeah,
we'll see. We'll
I think
see.
we got to that point, but you know.
All right, man. You can find me at flatearthdave.com. Flatearthdave.com. If you forget the long name of my app, Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app by Blue Water Bay. Be careful on Android, on the Google Play Store. There's a Flat Earth Society one. Same name, some of the same graphics. Not my app. Don't get it and send me an email telling me my app sucks. My app is the highest rated app in both stores.
Right, okay.
Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Scan this, or just go to flatearthdave.com and click the link there. That way you're guaranteed to find the right app. And check it out. Share it with friends. If everybody woke up a couple flat earthers a week, this would be over in a couple weeks.
Yeah, man. Well, keep up the good work. You know what I mean? I'm going to go down to London and fight these two fights because I think these two are pretty big ones. But hopefully, that website there for your viewers, boxcleverarmy.com, will be back online soon. And yeah,
right.
Danny Roscoe actually made me this hoodie. Let me show you a back of it as well, yeah, because obviously we've got the no more lockdown. But this is quite a notorious hoodie. There's only one in the world, and it's doing the rounds in terms of images. So we've got
big
Rebel Squad,
nice,
and Black and White Unite. Yeah,
very good.
That's Danny Roscoe's thing in it, the Black and White Unite. So nice. One of a kind, that, and he's doing the rounds at the moment. Some quite, you know, I don't want to say iconic images, but some big images with it on. So yeah.
All right, man.
Keep up the good work, man. God bless, man. And I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Thanks, man. Nice meeting you, and we'll see you around the truth circles.
Yes, hope so. All the best, man, yeah. One last thing. Flat Earth, man. I asked him if he wanted to come and do a gig in Manchester. He said, I don't really do live gigs. He says, but when I do, he said, I'm going to sell out Wembley one day. And this is about a year ago. And I'm like, I know you will, bro. I said, put me down for a few hundred tickets now, will you? Do you know what I mean? And let me get on stage with you and do at least one song with you, if not a full set. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I can't wait for that day. So hopefully,
he keeps threatening to write a whole song about me. We have a little rivalry because I said he doesn't really sound like a cowboy. He's really a gay man from New York City, from the village, because, you know, with his accent, might sound a little gay. So he did a little hit piece on me. Funny, you know, we're buddies. And he said he's going to make a whole song about me. And my reply was, yeah, you and NASA. NASA says they're going to put hotels in space. You know, it's never going to happen. So we'll see.
He's actually, I've just shared on our Instagram channel, I shared a song that I did this weekend, and he liked it. You know what I mean? He likes it. It's called War. It's actually called War. So I do like quite a bit of hip hop music sometimes. You know what I mean? Although I don't class myself as a rapper, I can hold my own in the studio and do it. Do you know what I mean? So,
have you seen Conspiracy Music Guru's latest video called Pharmakia?
Yeah, Big Pharma. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's a heavy duty one, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's the 5G one. No,
I
matter
told
the
I told you so. One before that was also another great one. So
that's the one I'd want to do at Wembley Stadium with him. I want to get on stage and sing that with him. Do you know what I mean? But
that would be good live.
I was
Yeah.
actually down at Wembley. Sorry, at Downing Street, and I've got a big, massive speaker, and obviously I've got my megaphone. It's pretty loud, and I was playing a lot of his music. So I'm like, this is for all the people that think 5G is safe. I said, it's a weapon. It's like Skynet out with Terminator film and played No Amount of Evidence will ever persuade an idiot. I'm like, wake up, stop being idiots. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are outside the House of Commons. So, yeah, he's a legend. And again, you've got links to his music page, haven't you?
Right on the app. Right on the app.
Yeah. He's actually from near London, But when he talks, he's like, hey, flat earth man here. You'd never know, would you? Do you know what I mean? Or maybe you would because you can suss out the accent. But I think it's a very good accent. But he's from Essex. He's from London.
Yeah.
I mean,
all right, listen, I do have to run. I got another interview. Thanks, man.
All the best, man. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Dave.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.